What's up, guys? I'm Chris Eaton, and welcome to episode 84 of Snakes and the Fatman. All right, what's up, everybody? Let's see what's going on with Herps. Fucking A, best show circuit in the fucking country. Let's see what they got going on. Oh, I don't know if you could hear, but lovely. The fucking gardeners are outside mowing the fucking grass during my fucking Herps ad. What the fuck is up with that? Anyway, let's get through this. They got a big show. Gonna be in Conroe on September 10th and 11th. Fucking A, man. I'm sorry I can't get to that one. They're going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, September 17th and 18th. Branch Davidian headquarters in Waco, Texas on October 15th and 16th. They're going to be in Lafayette, Louisiana as the fucking gardeners come by my goddamn window again. Anyway, they're going to be in Lafayette, Louisiana on November 5th and 6th. They're going to be in Pearland, Texas. Pearl Land, November 12th and 13th. They're going to be in the liberal capital of Texas, Austin, on December 3rd and 4th. Ain't going to be no Cowboys there, I'll tell you that. Then they're back in Slidell, Louisiana on December 10th and 11th. Then they're going up north a little bit, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, next year on January 14th and 15th, 2023. Listen, got any questions? Just hit this button on herpshow.net and you can ask them whatever you want. Anyway, Sean and Lori put on the best fucking show circuit in the country. That's all I'm saying. Best show circuit. Whole country. And I'm not saying nothing. Just fucking saying. Listen, go to herpshow.net now and see all these dates. And if you have any questions, shoot Sean and Lori over a question. Listen, Tipsy Trinket. Fucking Herb Shop. Fucking they're right there in Bryan, in College Station. Go visit them too. All right, come on. Fucking show some goddamn support, people. All right, NFS Collections is a new animal management feature on Morph Market, which enables you to showcase your not-for-sale animals. NFS. This is a great way to show off the breeding stock that you're working with. Previously, a few examples from your collection were shown on the store page. Now, prospective buyers can browse your entire collection by clicking on the View Collection link in the Collection section of the store page. Sounds very simple. The collection page provides some filtering and sorting options with more to come. You could also restrict which animals show up here by adjusting their visibility to private or unlisted. Let's get those beautiful breeders posted up. Also, Morph Market is excited to announce a new program that will provide basic membership for free to qualifying reptile rescues. These organizations must meet and maintain standards established by the newly formed Association of Reptile Rescue Organizations, ARPO, including 501c3 status. Learn more about these topics and more by visiting Morph Market's homepage and clicking on the news section. Listen, I've told you 1,000 fucking times, or at least 84 times. Go to Morph Market right now and become a member. www.morphmarket.com. All right, everyone, I'm going to do a little shameless self-promotion here. I'm actually starting up a new live show on YouTube this Sunday, September 4th at 8 p.m. This is going to be a completely different show from the main one here, where all topics are open for discussion. You want to talk about ball pythons? We'll talk about ball pythons. You want to talk about boas? We'll talk about boas. You want to talk about religion or politics or sex, drugs, and fucking rock and roll? We will talk about all of that. Nothing is off limits. The people asked for more Fatman, and we're going to try and give it to them. It's going to be called Fatman Live, and I hope some of you guys show up for this. We're pretty excited about it here. Sometimes we're going to have a guest, sometimes we won't. I just kind of want to try a couple of different things and see if we can make this work. I'm pretty sure we'll have a rocky start at this, and it'll take a little time to get going, but we just figured this is another way to put the fat man in front of your face every week and make it laugh. So when the idea first came to me for doing the live, I thought, should we get sponsors? Should we not get sponsors? But since I'm billing this thing as the people's show, I wanted to get regular people as sponsors. So you're not going to see any of the bigger corporate types that sponsor this main show on the live show. I decided to limit it to 5 ball python breeders. Now, as everybody that watches this show knows, I'm not a ball python guy, all right? I used to be, but really I'm not anymore. I don't care, right? But I wanted to have my friends involved. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get 5 ball python sponsors, and let's just see who feels like coming on to the show. And to my surprise, I put the word out there, and we had 27 offers to sponsor the show. I picked 5, and I'm not gonna lie, I picked 5 of my better friends in the industry, and I want to promote them too. Now, all you guys know that Justin is my main guy, but these are people that I trust as far as buying and selling animals and how they take care of their animals and everything else. So, who are they? You're gonna have to tune in Sunday and find out. Again, this show, Snakes and a Fat Man, isn't going anywhere. Still gonna be doing this show twice a month. As a matter of fact, we got some pretty fucking cool things coming up in the next couple of months. We actually have some guests coming on, I think in the next episode or the episode after, that is gonna announce some game-changing news in the fucking industry. So I'm proud that all these people still want to come on this show. This is still the flagship show of the Fat Man Network. What I'm hoping is that having different shows will attract different viewers. I mean, God knows there are going to be people that watch the live just to see if I fuck up. Anyway, I hope you guys stick with this show, and I hope you guys also come along with me on this new live ride that we're taking to just see what happens. Got to keep up with the kids, you know? To all my listeners and watchers and supporters and Patreon people and sponsors, thank you for sticking with me, man. I fucking really appreciate it. And let's see where this shit takes us. Boom. It's the first video ad in Snakes and the Fat Man history. Look at it. Look at it. That right there is the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet. Look at this right here. This is also the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet, but it's in a bag. Now this right here is the best coconut chip on the fucking planet. However, it's in a bigger bag. Brick, small bag, bigger bag, whatever. Reptichip is hands down the best substrate for your reptiles. It's the only substrate I actually use here at the Fat Cave. Why? Because it's the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet, and I've been using it for years. And JT Tomlinson, one of my very best good friends, is the president of the company. Want to know something else that JT started? The Reptilution Apparel Company that gives 100% of the profits it receives back to the reptile community. There's always people and organizations in this hobby in need of some kind of help, and Reptilution is being proactive in giving to USARK, Herb's Family Fund, anybody in the community that experienced some kind of tragedy. JT, Reptichip, and Reptilution is there for them. You see anybody else being proactive like this? Let me answer that for you. No, you don't. Head on over to reptichip.com and pick up a bag, a block, a brick, a box even. They're doing boxes. Boxes of Reptichip now. Pick up a Reptilution shirt if you're feeling sexy. A lot of fun stuff. They got it all there. Redline Science, tools, shit scrapers. They got everything. It's a one-stop shop, man. You can buy your reptile shit and clothes. Same place. Again, go buy a brick, a bag, box, a shirt, whatever. Just get on it. Reptichip.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes and the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova's become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 Minutes of Lame to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here. Let's hear your ideas. Let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lame into 20 years of lame, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So bring it.
15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Look who I have here. I have Jake Klotz. That's right, Klotz, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, from JK Reptiles, man. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Good. Just trying to make shit happen here, man.
I hear
you. Jake is a retic breeder out in Illinois, right? And
Yes.
No super dwarf, no, just regular big old
big-
18-foot fucking could
big-
kill children retics,
big,
right?
big,
Okay.
big retics. No dwarfs, no super dwarfs, none of that stuff. So, just the big ones.
Jesus Christ. Okay, you're yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well,
They're awesome.
you know how
man.
this works.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna get 15 minutes to pimp your shit, and the 15 minutes is actually gonna start right now. Now, like the name, man. What a lame name, man.
I know, dude. I know. When I started, so I've been doing retics specifically for. Well, I should say I had my first clutch of retics back in 2010. So, I started keeping them. I got them when I was 14, and I'm going to be 38. So I've had retics that whole time. I kind of just did JK Reptiles when I had my first clutch, just to kind of have something. And my plan was always to change it.
Right.
I never changed it. So maybe one day I'll swap it. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you are in need of a Canova makeover. Okay.
I know.
That man, that's so
if
lame.
he can do it, anybody can do it. So,
That's what I'm saying. All right.
I know.
Well, you're out in Illinois, right? So why? Normally, I would say why should people buy from you? But I don't really know many retic breeders in the country. So
I mean, I've been around forever. I've seen so many guys come and go in the retic world. There's like maybe a handful of us that have been doing this forever. Like I said, I got into retics at 14. I remember watching Bob Clark hatch out the first albinos, and I kind of saw the whole retic industry start. So there's not a lot of those guys really left in the hobby or in the community of the retic community. So that's why I would buy from me. You know, been here
Well-
forever. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So
Well, you do like the big national shows, right? Like you do Tinley, probably Schaumburg.
I've done Tinley, I've done Schaumburg, I have done in Arlington a few years ago, and then I hit some of the local shows around the area, stuff like that. But
Now, are you one of the few basic mainland retic guys at these shows?
there's a couple of us. I think I might be one of the only ones that's just mainland with literally zero dwarf or even any of that low percentage shit. I have nothing. So there, a lot of the retic guys do have some of that like 25% bullshit. You know, I have none of it. So
I don't even know how that works. How something could be 25% Kalatoa, fucking whatever the fuck. I mean, I learned enough of this bullshit with the ball pythons. I'm not gonna learn all this shit with retics, but
the industry standard is if it's under 50%, it shouldn't even be really, I guess, thought about. Like 50% or higher is what they're looking for. But I guess, you know, everyone's so hard up for percentages and localities and stuff. I guess it's better to know, but I would never tell somebody, oh, 25% or 12.5% dwarf or super dwarf is going to stay small. That's still going to be a big ass snake. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume. What's the average retic size?
Me personally, my biggest is 19 foot 8 when I measured her last year. My smallest is female wise, like 10, 11 foot mainland, 3-4 years old. You know, I've played a lot with feeding, you know, fed some harder, some lighter. I just like to see kind of what I can push them, you know, how far or how big they'll get with food. So,
well, and what do you feed? I mean, you're not feeding that 19-foot rat. Yeah, pigs. I was going to say, you got to be feeding something like pigs.
Yeah, that big girl eats like 20, 25-pound pigs. So,
Jesus fucking Christ. And do you have some kind of safety system in place?
So, I mean, I'll be honest, not really. So, like the big stuff, I typically don't mess with unless my wife is home. And my wife does not care for the snakes whatsoever. But as long as she's around, I'll kind of pull them out and stuff. I mean, I have the typical, you know, I have Listerine or not Listerine, alcohol down here in case I do get bit. I'm pretty good. I haven't had a serious bite in over 10 years, knock on wood. But I mean, I don't really have protocols, I guess you would say, in place.
Well, I remember the retics, at least when I was coming up in the early 2000s, they were just mean as fuck. Yeah. But like they were all imports, right? Because nobody here was doing them except for maybe Bob. Mm-hmm. And they were just mean as fuck. Do you find that yours generationally? Yeah, that's the word. Have calmed down?
So I probably have. I have over 100 retics, counting babies and stuff right now. I have maybe one animal that's untrustworthy. Everything else is super friendly, super handleable. You know, my kids come down here and they help me. I mean, they're little. They're not pulling out big retics, but I could pull them out and handle the head and they'll play with it, pet it, do whatever. There's one animal that I do not trust. There's so many generations captive born and bred at this point that I find baby Burms are more aggressive than baby retics are.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And where do you keep these things in?
So I use vision cages for all of my, you know, I have the little 2-foot visions up to the big monsters, 6x3s. Everything, all the big stuff, especially I try to get them out and let them stretch around my room once a week. If I can get them outside, I sometimes try to take them outside. I have like a third of an acre. So if I can get them outside in my backyard, let them cruise around, I try to do that. But yeah, and then all my babies are in the racks and stuff like that.
And you're obviously a show guy, right? So
I love the shows. I love doing shows. You know.
Oh, gross.
And I like to bring the big retics to the show. I have a big cow retic that I bring that everybody. There's people that are like Tinley or I saw that snake last Tinley or last Schaumburg, and oh my god, look how much bigger it got. And yeah, I love doing the shows.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, all right. Let's segue that into some sponsors then.
All right, I'm gonna do terrible on this.
Yeah, I got a feeling you are. All
I'm gonna do pretty bad.
All right. Reptichip. I don't even know if you use Reptichip on.
So I will say I don't use it all the time, but I do sometimes put some of my hatchlings on them. Not always. Kind of if I have a trouble feeder or something, I'll switch them to Reptichip, and it usually does switch them over pretty good. But that's the only time I use it.
Well, if they don't eat and they're not on Reptichip, and then they eat when they're on Reptichip, Why the fuck would you not use Reptile
Well,
for
it's just sometimes they're just a pain in the ass to get started. Everyone thinks they're like nuts out of the egg eating. Some of them are assholes, man. They take a while. Once I get them eaten, established pretty good, I switch them back to the paper, and they don't stop eating. They go, they're good.
All right, well, I'm happy that your snakes don't stop eating, but JT still gives you a fuck you.
I figured.
All right. Yeah, with your one brick of Reptile a year that you
if that
Yes.
even.
Jesus Christ. All right, so you got to be on Morph Market, right?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So John Lehman will not give you a fuck you. Okay.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Man, obviously you've never bought a ball python from Canova.
I never have. Nope.
Justin, probably the nicest guy in the industry, is fucking saying "fuck you, Jake Klotz," man.
Yep. And our names are almost the same, me and him. So
Right, I know. It's like fucking.
It's fucked. Double fuck you to me, right?
Yeah, yeah. You really. I'm gonna give you two, right?
Jesus.
Stewart Design did not design your logo.
No, but he's hounding me. But no, he didn't do mine.
I think it's worth it.
I know.
Okay.
We've been talking. Me and him have talked at a few of the shows. So
okay, well, until you use him, he potentially gives you a fuck you, right?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Fucking
Do you have any focus cubed habitats in your house?
Zero. I know.
Like, why wouldn't you lie to me a little bit? Like, fucking.
I'm an honest. You know what? I thought about this today too. I was like, I'm gonna tell him I use all that shit, but I can't. I'm an honest guy, man. It's hard for me to do that.
Steven and Ashley would definitely give you a fuck you.
I don't even know if they make them big enough for.
They make 20-foot cages there.
Do they really?
Yeah, they don't fuck around. Best display cages in the business. Now you just do retics, right? So you haven't bought anything from Bow Affliction.
Zero.
Man,
nothing.
Kenny gives you a fuck you hard, man.
Yeah.
Do you have a sea serpent's incubator?
No, I don't have a sea serpent.
Dude, you suck.
I know, man. I know, man. Fuck.
Man, at the end of this, you better at least buy a fucking shirt, man. This is bullshit.
I saw you've got them in my size now, so I'm gonna have to go order one.
4X's, that's right.
Yeah, buddy.
Bastard, right?
I'm tall.
All right, well, Chris from Sea Serpents gives Jake Klotz from JK Reptiles a big old FU.
Man, struck out.
Yeah, you haven't been to any herp shows.
No, I haven't. I actually want to check one out, but no, I've never been.
Man, Sean Gray is fucking just hammering you with the fuck yous right now. I mean, really, like, what the fuck, man? So, all right. So, what do you use? One? You use Morph Market, right?
I use Morph Market, yep.
That's the one out of fucking 8 that you would get kicked out of fucking high school, brother.
Fuck.
Right?
Well, I wasn't good at high school, so yeah.
Well, now, so you keep everything on paper.
Everything's on unprinted newspaper, yep.
Okay. And I watch that asshole over in California, the Jay Brewer, with his fucking videos and his egg pulling and all that. How many eggs is your average, clutch size, and how many did you do like last year, for instance?
So mine varies a lot. So like I just actually cut a clutch today. It was 17 eggs, and that's a mainland female. And then I have another female due to drop, but she's very big. She'll probably drop about 60. So my average is probably in the 30s somewhere. So not too crazy, but I mean, it's still decent clutch. And then I try to keep them like no more than like four breedings a year. So I don't do like 10, 15, 20 retic.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This year I have two right now. And then, so I don't like to do a lot. My best year ever was 6, and that was too much. I will never do that again.
Well, so even if you have 2 clutches a year, that could potentially be 60 to 90 babies you have to. Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's fucking a lot. And do you keep them in racks when they're babies?
Yeah, I start them out in V18 tubs, and then within a few months they go up to a 32. And then if I still have any left after that, they go to the CB70s and just work their way up.
And what's your average price point on a sale?
I do pretty good at like the 750 to 1,000 is about average. That's normally what I get for most of my stuff. Obviously, I have all the the low end, the normals and stuff, but that's kind of my sweet spot.
Well, do you sell these things on Morph Market or shows? Like which one do you sell more at?
I think as of late, Morph Market's been killing it. I've been selling a lot more on Morph Market. The last show, Tinley or Schaumburg, I didn't do great. But I still do a lot on Facebook, and I sell a lot through Instagram, to be honest with you. A lot of people hit me up on Instagram and buy stuff. Facebook's harder now with all the rules and shit, but Instagram
I just read today a guy got thrown off for selling an animal on Instagram.
Oh really?
Yeah, so
I mean, I post every once in a while something for sale, but I usually get people. I'll post my clutches or babies hatching and stuff, and people usually blow up my inbox with what do you have available and stuff. So I'm not like posting constantly. This is available and stuff like that.
Well, do you have trouble selling because? I mean, there are laws like every state has a different law, right? Like you can't sell to New York, you can't sell to Florida. Do you have any issues with that? And how many dickheads a year fucking say, "Listen, just send it to me anyway"?
I get a lot. I get a lot of people from New York. like it's constant. People trying to buy shit, and they'll do the whole, I can pick it up in New Jersey and shit. And I'm like, no, just get the fuck away from me. Block them or something. It's ridiculous. Florida, I don't get too many people in Florida. New York is constant.
Well, what could happen to you if you sell, let's say,
I don't even know. So here, I will say, actually, I did. So I sold one retic to a guy in New York, but he actually showed me his permit. It's he's been on like Letterman and shit. He's one of those animal guys.
Right.
So he bought a retic and he showed me all, and I was still freaking out. I was super nervous. But I shipped it and there was no issues. I don't know what would happen. I don't know if that actually falls on me or if that falls on the buyer. Right. I've never looked into it. I avoid it at all costs. I won't even risk it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's worth the risk at all.
No.
Because if they take away your shit, they're taking away a lot of fucking animals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a pretty big collection. So.
And you're branching out a little bit now.
I do have, so I'm kind of getting into the monitors a little bit. I have an albino water monitor. I like other shit. I still want to get some scrub pythons. I had those years ago. I'd like to get some more scrub pythons. I like all that shit, the Timors. It's just space, man. I'm out of room. And just every time I get something, I usually sell it or trade it for more retics.
Do you have a facility or is it all in your house?
All in my basement. Everything's in my basement. Yeah.
So you definitely got a finite amount of space.
I'm pretty much maxed out right now. I have a little bit of space left for when my monitor gets bigger. But after that, I'm done. I'm actually trying to, with all the sales I've been doing, I've put money away to try to put an addition on my garage, or me and my wife are looking at new houses. So if I find something with a little more property, so I can put up a big shop or something and, do that. But yeah, as of right now, I'm maxed out.
Well, and now real quick, how could people get in touch with you if they're allowed to and they want to buy a retic?
Instagram, Facebook. I'm on YouTube. JK Reptiles. I Slack on YouTube. But Instagram and Facebook are the easiest. I'm more market as well.
It doesn't matter. Your time is up.
Fuck.
Your time is up. But you Slack on YouTube. But YouTube is really like what you got to do nowadays. To keep up with the kids, right?
I got like 3,200 subscribers, so not too bad.
Shit, you got more than I do. So
I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a while. It's been a while since I've put video up.
And I ask everybody this: do you got a TikTok?
I do. I just started one not too long ago. I suck at it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I do have one.
Are so gay. Okay.
You got one too, don't you? Fuck. We could be gay together then, Chris.
Yeah. Well, I'm a. People already know I'm a fag, right? So.
Man.
Good. Jake, thank you for taking the time to do this, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
All right, I have a couple of questions for anyone trying to run a business in the reptile industry.
Do you ever feel like you're held back by a dated or detailed image? Are you sick of competing on price or convincing people to buy your fucking animals? Are you ready for a change but not sure where to start? Stewart Design guides ambitious companies to discover and share their meaningful difference and empowers them to reach their greatest potential. If you've been listening to me for a while, you probably know my man Blake Stewart at Stewart Design. If not, I'm certain you've seen the waves they're making within the industry. They've worked with the biggest and baddest players in the game. Stewart Design rebranded ball python extraordinaire Justin Kabilka over at Canova. They also created the brands for Amos Reptiles, my boy Zach Nava, Garrett Hartle with Reach Out Reptiles, as well as many, many more. Not to mention the rebranding and all the work that Blake has donated to USARK just because of his love for the industry. Stewart Design helps take that dumpster fire shit of a logo you drew in Microsoft Word to a whole new level. Get your big boy pants on because this isn't a game. There are literally thousands of breeders and more coming out every day. So how the fuck will you stand out at Tinley or on Morph Market or at Daytona? Why should anyone buy anything from you when there are literally thousands of other dickheads out there selling the same stuff? If you want to run a real business and not some part-time fucking hobby, you have to stand out and look the goddamn part. If you give a shit about your business and want other people to give a shit about it, get a hold of Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design. Stewart Design is a professional branding agency. Just check out their website to see the list of major national and international awards that they've won. And besides creating kick-ass logos, Stewart Design also designs and prints everything you need to crush your next show, so you don't look like another fucking reject. Business cards, stickers, flyers, table covers, banners, you name it, they got it. Visit sdidentity.com or email info@sdidentity.com to learn more. That's info@sdidentity.com to get started.
Tony fucking Thomas, man. Fucking, you want to talk about a guy that commits to the grind. No one does it like this guy. Here's my one-on-one with Tony Thomas of Hardwired Exotics. Tony fucking Thomas, what's up, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Man, just trying to get it done, man. You know how it is.
Yep, living a dream.
You are like one of the biggest grinders that I've ever fucking seen, right? Like you're down in Georgia, right? So
yep.
And you do snakes full time, right?
Yep.
Okay. But you also do like you paint cars, you do the
Yep.
knives.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, when are you not working?
Hardly ever. A lot of people don't know this either, but with my cousin owns a big honeybee business, and this time of year especially, we move the bees around, and all that's done at night too. So there's a lot of stuff that's done even while people are sleeping that they don't see or don't even know that I do. So yeah, I stay pretty busy.
Do you just do you put on the suit?
Yeah. Well, at nighttime, the bees will actually go back in their hives, and they don't fly at night. So they will crawl and sting you, but you don't have to worry about getting stung too much at night, which is why we move them at night. And all the bees are back in the hives, so you don't lose as many.
Man, I just picture you just going in and being like, where are they? And just moving them and just like in regular clothes, like fucking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I'm a mountain man. I don't need your gay little fucking bee suit to fucking move this shit.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. So you're always working. When did you start doing the ball pythons full time?
So I started a business in 2014, and when my wife got pregnant with our the last kid, he's 3.5. When she was pregnant with him, I went full time with this. So
okay.
3.5 years.
Oh, okay. So, and what did you do prior?
So I've done a lot of things, but I quit working full time as a painter at a body shop to do the snakes full time.
Okay.
And since then, I kind of been back and forth with the body shop when they need some help. I still go out there. I still have a good relationship with them and still work for them sometimes.
Right. Okay. And you just moved into a new facility, right?
Yes.
Recently. Okay. And how many snakes do you have back there?
How many snakes do I have now or back then?
No, now.
Now, whew, at this facility, there's about 120 to 30 breeder females. I don't know, 30 to 40 breeder males. I think we have close to 300 babies right now. 50 to 60 holdbacks from last year, maybe. So whatever all that totals up to be.
Well, you said at this facility, do you have another place or a partner?
Yep. So we have the place that we moved out of. I still own that property, and we still have a shop over there. I have another 80-ish breeder females over there.
Christ.
And the reason for that is I actually bought a property adjacent to the property that we're on now that I plan to build a brand new facility, bigger facility. Just with COVID and prices like they are, I just don't want to do it right now. But we do plan to do that eventually. And this 20 by 20 building that I'm in now, I couldn't bring everything here. So I left some of the stuff at the old place. And I have two good friends here in Georgia that have taken some of my breeders, and they kind of basically just breed for me. Craig's one of them. Everybody knows Craig.
Right.
My buddy Juan. A lot of people don't know him. And then this year, I've also taken on selling snakes for Chris Davenport down at D's Exotics.
Okay.
He's built a business called the Florida Rattery, just a massive warehouse of rats, big rattery, and he doesn't have the time to sell snakes basically. So what he's doing is breeding snakes there, and then we make runs back and forth. He brings the babies up to me, and I sell all the baby, everything he produces. I sell out of this facility as well. So
right.
So I mean, between everybody, you're talking probably 150, 200 clutches, a year possible. So,
Jesus Christ! All right, that's a lot of work, man. There was talk.
Yep.
There was talk at one time where you were going to open up a facility, like a commercial facility, on like a warehouse.
No, like I said, I bought this property next to me. It's just a half-acre lot, nothing on it. We've cleaned all the trees and stuff off of it, and I do plan on building a facility there. But it's not going to be like super massive or nothing like Justin Cabelka's built. Just basically enough to probably double the size of what I'm in now, so something like a 20 by 40 or 20 by 50, something along those lines. I haven't really looked at all. Just depends on the money as far as the square footage goes. Whatever's the best bang for the buck type thing. So,
right.
But no, like super commercial. I'm not trying to breed snakes to like wholesale and things like that. That's not really the avenue that I'm going for.
Are you a show guy down there in Georgia, or are you mainly morph market and online sales?
So when our son was born and I went full time with this, I basically quit doing shows. 2 reasons. One, I didn't like having my family on the road, and I don't like leaving them behind either. And then secondly, I really had an issue with putting my livelihood, such as the baby snakes, in a vehicle and traveling. So, if something happened out on the road and I managed to lose all of my babies, then that's an income for my family that I don't have anymore. And I really had an issue with that. So I felt nervous about doing shows in case something wrong happened. I wasn't sure how I was going to feed my family. And I just decided that it was best for me at that time to quit doing shows. But now that I've started being able to come up with other sources of income, the knives, guns, the bees or whatever body shop stuff I'm doing, I have ways of making money elsewhere. I don't feel quite as nervous about doing shows. So this year we done the Arlington show, which was the first show that I'd been out to in 2 years.
Right.
And we recently just done Daytona. And we plan
nice.
to do Arlington, Tinley, and Daytona. Arlington and Tinley twice a year, and then Daytona's once a year. So 5 shows a year is what I plan on doing.
Okay, are you going to be in Arlington in September?
I will be.
Awesome, man. I'll meet you there. That's fucking great. Now, you're in Georgia, right? Yet somehow you seem to avoid being put in that whole Georgia clique, group of people. Are you mainly like, hey, listen, I don't want to be part of that, or were you offered to be part of that? What's the mentality behind that? There's benefits for being in, the clique because they go everywhere, but I'm sure there's negatives because the majority, of sales go to 1 or 2 guys in that clique.
So I don't particularly know exactly what clique you're talking about.
Well, the Bob Vu clique, the Josh Jackie, Bob Vu, the guys that run with those guys.
Okay, because in Georgia you have several different cliques. Obviously Bob is, Bob's one of the biggest breeders, out there. So obviously he's going to draw the most attention to his clique. I don't know. Me and Bob used to be good friends. I'm not going to say used to be good friends. I still don't have an issue with him, so I would still consider him somewhat of a friend. We had some disagreements. Some things were thought that weren't there. Honestly, I don't really know what happened there. Supposedly, I changed when I stopped doing shows and had a kid and got married, and I mean, fuck, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what all happened there, but we have talked in the past few years, but it hasn't been like on a friendship type basis. And honestly, I don't have time for very many friends. I just put it out there like that. I have, I have some friends. Obviously, everybody has some sort of friends, but I don't hang out on the weekends with people. I don't really know what else to say. I'm trying to provide for my family and work. I just don't have time for unnecessary drama and BS in my life.
Oh, so, no, it wasn't a derogatory sort towards Bob. I happen to like Bob a lot. But you're more of a lone guy, right? Like you're more of it's just better for you to be alone and knock your shit out that way. This way you're responsible for everything, and you know that you can do anything that you need to do, make any changes or whatever.
And I've been like that pretty much my whole life. Bob and that clique, the Georgia clique, I guess you call it. They when I started doing shows and things like that, they we all intermingled and stuff. And I really don't have a problem with any of those guys or girls, in that. But it's not for me. Like, I don't have to have the biggest and best of things, and I don't have to. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean that both of us are wrong or right, or things like that. It's just It's just easier for me to not be around people and just do my thing. I mean, it's worked for me.
Believe me, I get that. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just even this YouTube and doing this podcast with you, I told you when we first talked about this, I guess a fucking year ago or months, whatever, when we first talked about doing this, I was a little uneasy about it because this isn't like me as a person. Like, if you come hang out with me, I'm not going to sit down and have a conversation with you like this because I'm going to be too busy working.
Right.
So like it's, this is uncomfortable for me. The YouTube thing is very uncomfortable for me. My wife pushes it on me, and I think it does okay, but it's really not me. Like all the social media stuff, she does all that. Like I just want to work. Like I want to work and sell snakes and do that. So
well, your wife has a big hand in everything, right?
With the social media, yes.
Yeah.
She does not help with the snakes at all. She doesn't like the snakes too much, but she supports everything I do. And it's big time. All the social media stuff she's in charge of, like all the video and editing and all that on YouTube. And she does. I don't even know what TikTok is, but she does all of that.
I can't even believe Tony Thomas, the Mountain Man, has a TikTok.
Yeah,
that makes me feel less gay. I got to be honest with you.
But she has a TikTok that's in my name. We'll put it that way.
Holy shit! And so, what's the 5-year plan, man? I mean, like, is the 5-year plan to be Justin production wise?
Oh no,
or is
no.
the 5-year plan just I just want to make a living, man?
Man, I'm just trying to make a living and make cool stuff that you don't see. Look, I just talked on Justin on the phone this past week, so I'm just chit chatting. It seems like he's doing good and everything's going for him, but that's not what I want to be. I respect the guy. I like what he does, but that's just not me. Like I'm okay doing what I'm doing right now. Just want to keep making better stuff, and I'm quite comfortable with where I'm at and the money that's coming in. But part of the reason that it works for us as a family is I don't have much overhead.
Right.
Almost everything we have is paid for. So, if I have a bad month, I don't have to worry about having $5,000 just to pay bills, every month or whatever the normal income is for somebody. But, I don't have to make a lot of money. And I'm okay with not making a lot of money,
Do you do your own rats there too?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So it's all just confined to that.
Yep.
Do you sell rats to other people or no?
No.
Just yours, right?
Just mine. I barely have enough now. So,
man,
I have a couple of customers that's been friends for 8, 10, 12 years, and they need one or two here or there. But they just come by, stop by, pick up the rats and leave. I don't ever even hardly see them.
Right.
I don't mind helping people, when I can. And they've been such good friends for so long. 1 or 2 rats isn't going to kill me every now and again. But as a general rule, I care nothing about selling rats.
Right. Okay. Good. That's gross anyway. Do you keep anything else besides ball pythons or are you strictly ball pythons?
So the reticulated pythons have always been like my favorite snake, basically. And I've always had 1 or 2, and usually I would just feed them up until I couldn't put them in the 70 series tub anymore. And then, I would sell them or give them to friends or whatever, because I didn't want to keep them once they got to a certain point, but I love the snakes. Well, as the years have gone by, obviously the reticulated python has genetically been bred to be smaller and more manageable. And I have been the past 3 years, I've been collecting some of the smaller scale animal. Most of them are smaller scale animal, so that I plan to eventually start breeding retics. I have
like super dwarfs or dwarfs.
Well, so the genetics on the super dwarf stuff, I don't really understand. I don't really know, and I don't necessarily know if I agree with it. However, I do know that there's certain mutations that tend to stay smaller. And I tend, that's a big word there is tend to stay small.
Well, small is a relative term when you're talking any type of retic, right?
Yeah, and I'm saying small as in a 8 foot to 9 foot snake.
Right.
To me, that's a small retic. Somebody else, a small retic may be 5 foot. I don't know.
Right.
So let's use that, 8 to 9 foot to be a small retic. Most of the genetics that I'm trying to work with are in the smaller realm, tend to be in the smaller realm, as well as some of the parents and of some of these babies I know personally, and they've stayed small. I also have some 5 and 6 year old females that are still around that 9 foot realm. Supposedly they had dwarf blood. I don't really know about that, but I can say that I've had them since they were a baby, and they're only 9 foot. I don't power feed. I'm not the guy on the recent meme that's got a 200-pound snake. I don't treat my animals like that, and but I don't underfeed them either. They eat every week or two and appropriate size meals, and most of the stuff I have here just stay small. I don't have anything over 10 foot. So
Right. Okay, cool. So just balls and retics, right?
And I recently picked up some gray banded king snakes.
Oh man, those are great. I mean, they fucking just shit all the time, though, right? It's just like I'd love to have one, but fucking, I'm just like, that's just too much work, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in there literally like fucking every day cleaning shit out.
yeah,
But
they're
man,
horrible.
I fucking love them. I mean, they're fucking great. Is there any restrictions out there in Georgia for what you keep and what you can't keep?
There's a pile of restrictions. I mean, so it changes all the time. But last I heard and read up on, in Georgia, you are not allowed to keep venomous snakes unless they were native to Georgia.
Okay.
So you can keep like what they call canebrake or timber rattler, your copperhead, coral snake,
Right.
and your diamondbacks, water moccasin, whatever else you want to call them. But you can keep those legally, but you can't keep anything gaboons or
Right.
mambas or anything like that. And as far as the non-venomous stuff, you're not allowed to keep anything that's native east of the Mississippi River.
Okay.
So
All right.
you can have California kings, but you can't have, Eastern kings. Corn, you're not allowed any sort of corn snake.
Oh, really? Okay. Man, do you have like inspections on the ball pythons? Does a state guy come in and check out, the ball pythons every year?
Yep. So our recent, I've done this for a long time, so I've had different inspectors over the years. The recent one that we have now is really thorough. He comes in, he pops up. I'm going to say every 4 or 5 months, probably. Before that, we were only used to getting checked, once a year, once every 2 years. They were kind of slack about it, but the one that we have now pops in quite regularly. And they're very thorough. They go through a lot of tubs, check out the snakes, check out the water, check out the environment, which I personally don't have a problem with because I try to keep everything top notch. And honestly, I kind of like it because, if somebody else has a license, they're getting the same treatment as me probably. So it kind of keeps everybody. I would like to think that it keeps everybody on their, cleaning behavior like they should.
I kind of think that's. I mean, I don't want to say great because it's government coming in, but it is like, you got to know that these guys could just pop by at any time. So all your shit has to be clean all the time. And that forces people into the mentality of all my shit's always got to be clean all the time. That's the only way to fucking do it. So I'd be almost pro inspection if they were all like that,
And I'm sure, like I said, it's going to vary between each inspector. You got some inspectors that are not going to do the same. So, because I've had them, I've had them that don't care. So,
right.
And they check other things.
Just to do the job, to check the box off.
Yeah. They check fire extinguishers, airflow. The same thing with the rats. I mean, they come in and check the rats as well. And, that's a big thing. A lot of people breed rats, but breed rats in a facility where it's actually can pass an inspection. That might cut a few people back. But But at the you know, I'm definitely I don't like government, but I kind of like the fact that they do come in and check. So.
Right, it puts everybody on a kind of an even playing field.
Yep. Now they're supposed to give you like a 24-hour notice. Like they're supposed to allow you 24 hours to get your shit together before they pop up. But
Right.
Mine never does. But I don't care either. I mean, if he's in town, then sure, stop by, get it out the way.
Right. Well, now, and you're in a fairly rural place, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, you don't have a neighbor 25 feet away from you.
No.
Oh, okay. What's the closest neighbor?
So I have one neighbor. They're probably 100 yards.
Okay. Right.
That's pretty. I mean, we do live in town. I mean, there's a restaurant right across the street from us.
Right. Right.
but they're. I mean, it's not like big towns where you have houses stacked next to each other.
Right.
There's a good distance. Past that house is probably, well, I don't know, another probably 400 or 500 yards before the next house. So
it's nicely spaced out.
Yes, there's 8,000 people in our entire county.
Oh, okay. So you don't have an HOA where you live, right?
Oh, hell no. I'm not living anywhere where that would. I mean, if I want to go skin a deer in my front yard, nobody can say anything. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the HOAs are just insane. Now you've been named by a lot of the bigger up and coming breeders as like, you know, the guy to buy snakes from, or one of the top guys to buy snakes from. Is there some particular new breeders, or not even new, but have been around that you like, as opposed to just dudes that you look at and you say, yeah, they're probably not going to make it, you know, in 3 years, right?
That's kind of going to be a difficult question for me because I don't keep up with social media and you know who's all new and things like that. Man, that's going to put me on the spot there. You know, obviously, you know, Eric Walsh and Monster Morphs, great friend of mine, has been for a long time. He comes up and does some YouTubes with me. Matt Shiflett at American Made Exotics has been there since day one. You know, fantastic guy. I mean, he knows if he needs me for anything, he's always got me, and likewise for him. My boy Shane Kelly, you know Shane. You know, I love Shane. I love his family. I love what he does. I've recently, another guy you're going to know, Antoine. I met him in Daytona. I'm shipping him out a little package here pretty soon. I've recently started the following on the Instagram. I see all these crazy videos he makes. I think that's real funny, and kind of look through his collection, and I like what he's doing. But I mean, dude, there's way more better breeders out there, in my opinion, than there are shit breeders. But you just hear about the crap ones because, you know, that's what everybody wants to talk about. So
please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. How fucking thrilled am I to have Focus Cubed Habitats joining the Snakes in the Fatman family. They are literally the best display cages that I've ever owned. I was a fan of this husband and wife team of builders from when they were putting out these amazing pieces of fucking art from their garage. Stephen and Ashley have been keeping reptiles for years, and as experienced keepers, they understand how important your animals are in your life. Focus Cubed Habitats provide security and comfort for your animals while maintaining these insane, badass designs that everyone can appreciate. They give you the opportunity to make their home part of your home. You want options? They've got options. Every Focus Cubed Habitat is custom made to your specs. and you could choose from hundreds of options on their website. Too many options? Ashley and Steven have a huge selection of blog-style articles and complete accessory fact pages on their website to help educate consumers about add-ons that will best fit their individual needs. Listen, at the end of the day, these fucking cages are showpieces. Every cage their Focus builds will be the centerpiece of your reptile room. Hell, they could be the centerpiece of your fucking living room. If you have reptiles that you want to display, look no further than Focus Cubed Habitats. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and even fucking TikTok. Or just go old school and go right to FocusCubedHabitats.com and tell them that the Fatman told you to drop them a line.
I'd have to go through my Facebook and start looking.
Right. Well, no. That's actually also. It's actually surprising to me that you're actually scrolling through Instagram. So that's it took me a while to get into the Instagram thing.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Then you feel
I'm
bad.
really-
You just gotta double tap every picture of somebody that you know just so you give them a like. Know, like it's a pain in the ass and it's stupid, but you have to do it right now. I mean,
well, I don't. You
you don't, but I have to do it definitely. But you have your wife doing it, too, so that saves you enough, aggravation. Because I mean, you go 10 minutes on fucking Facebook, it's like, hey, you want to see a murder video, and you're just like, no, no, I don't. I was just trying to see whose birthday it was.
And I hate to sound like a dick, but most of the time, if I'm on Facebook and actually scrolling, it's usually not at snake stuff. Like, I do so much with the snakes and talk to so many people about the snakes. Like, I kind of want to get on Facebook and watch some bow hunting or some of my buddies that make knives. I want to see what they're up to. It's kind of like I got to have Facebook for the snake business, but at the same time, I like Facebook so that I can kind of keep up with some friends that aren't necessarily in snake world. So
right. No, I gotcha.
And which obviously I try to keep up with everybody in the snake world, but I mean, I have 7,000 freaking followers, or I don't know what I have, but I think last time I looked, there was 7,000 followers on there. So, I mean, it's hard to keep up with that many people.
Well, you can't. Realistically, you just can't.
Yeah, it's not that I don't want to. I would love to have a personal relationship with all these people, but you just can't. I mean,
oh my God, I would not. I mean, fuck that. Fucking, I don't like half the people I talk to now. All right, so fucking, I definitely don't want to add to that. What does Tony Thomas do when he's not doing snakes or not when he's not working? Like, what's a hobby?
Bow hunting.
Bow hunting.
I love the bow hunt.
So like, you just get a compound bow, walk out. Do you do it on your own property, or do you do it?
So we have a little bit of property that we hunt on, and then we also lease some tracts, a couple thousand acres that we lease to hunt on. And I have friends that invite me places to go hunt, and even out of state and things like that from time to time. But yeah, I mean, basically, I have 2 compound bows, and depending on where I'm hunting at and what I'm hunting, depends on which bow I use. And I love, especially white-tailed deer. I mean, I hunt all sorts of things, but especially white-tailed deer. It's fixing to be bow season like next week, so I've been getting stands ready and putting feed plots and corn and things like that out, getting ready for that season. So mornings and afternoons are fixing to be booked for me because I'll be in the stand.
Right. Okay. Well, that's the other thing I was going to ask is, like, let's say you go out bow hunting, right? Because I've never shot a bow and arrow in my life. Okay, I'm not fucking Hawkeye, right? So let's say you get your bow, you go out into the woods, right? You hike 2 miles into the woods to shoot an animal, right? when you shoot that animal, right? You then have to drag that 150-pound animal the 2 miles back, right?
I have vehicles for that.
Okay. So you take like little, RVs out and
Yeah, I have.
oh,
We have two side by sides. We have a large frame one that's kind of for the family, and then we have a real small one that kind of fits through trails a little better. And then we also have a four wheeler, and all of them have winches too. So if you need to winch one out of a ditch or someone like that, you can winch it on up. So
holy shit! Yeah. I think that you're just too much of a man to be on this show, because fucking. I'm just like, all right, so really, when you do it on your property, that's probably easy, right? But then when you go places and get invited places, you have to hook all this shit up to a trailer and go, right?
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
man.
A lot of places that I I haven't been very many places outside of the state, but a lot of my friends and cousins and things do, and they lease properties in like Tennessee and Kentucky, North Carolina, places like this when they travel, and um, usually they know somebody close by that has like four wheelers or things like that.
Right.
That way they don't have to trailer everything up to them, but obviously that requires taking coolers and stuff like that as well. So being in the bee business, we have a bunch of trucks that are flatbeds, so
Right.
it's pretty easy to just pile up junk on the back of these flatbeds and roll out. So
Yeah. I'm just thinking the thing I would worry about. This is how much of not a man I am. If I went hunting, like you got shit in the woods, right? Like if you have to shit, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna shit on the floor. Like fucking, and you got to dig a hole, right? And
yep,
fucking, yeah. That's just not gonna happen. I,
hey,
what
it
a
is what it
fucking
is, man.
no. I just can't.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, I don't go on boats for the same reason. I'm like, does that
really.
boat have a bathroom on it? And they're like, no. Just sit on the side and shit. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like fucking because with the boat it's worse because
yeah,
you're fishing and the fucking you're shitting in the water, then you're catching fish that ate your shit. You may as well just eat your own shit. I don't get that part of it.
yeah.
But if a boat has a bathroom, I'll definitely go on it.
Okay.
But I've never even been camping. All right,
Yeah,
so um, like if you took me out while you were hunting, I would probably die. I would probably end up dying, and then you'd have to put me on the four-wheeler and
yeah.
fucking
Drag you
drag
back.
me home. Holy shit. Now being that you're like full time at like 12 different fucking things, um, you have two children, right?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. And they're relatively young, right? They're what, 3 and 1
Yeah.
maybe, or
Our daughter's fixing to be 11, and our son's 3.5.
okay. Does the 11-year-old help at all?
She loves the retics. So part of the reason why a couple of years ago that I grew up a female and she got old enough and that I wanted to just sell her. And yeah, that my daughter had a fit, like did not want me to do it. So at that point, I'm like, well, if I'm keeping this one, I'm going all in on this. So so now I have, I think I have 12. So
Yeah. Well, we got one. We may as well get a dozen, right?
there you go.
Yeah. No, I think about that with donuts, but fucking not fucking 15-foot retics.
But yeah, she's real interested in it. She loves the fact that her friends, they watch us on YouTube. They know the website. They know who I am in town, and when they get to come over, they're excited. And she's all about it then.
Right.
She hadn't gotten to the point where she's really interested in cleaning and doing stuff that actually matters. But maybe. I don't push them. I tend to just kind of let my kids figure out what they like in life. I don't tend to push them. So.
Right. Well, you're like the prototypical family tough guy. You know, like when you watch, like you're like right out of a TV show, man. You know, like fucking, you know, you're a fucking family guy. You're a fucking hard worker. Um, what attracted me to your Facebook page was I remember you were just ripping on young people for no work ethic.
Oh
And
yeah,
I was like, yeah, I like this guy already. Like fucking, he's just shouting it out, you know,
yeah,
because so many kids these days, you know, but like if you're under 30, like don't even talk to me. You
yeah,
know, like I have no interest in what you have to say. Um, but your work mentality is so much more elevated than the majority of your everyday breeder guys out there because they're just doing one thing, right? Like they're like, I'm gonna do this job and I'm gonna call myself a snake keeper, you know. Whereas you are like, all right, I'm a snake keeper, but I'm doing 15 other fucking things too. And really that's the way it has to be, right? Like at the end of the day, you have to have multiple incomes coming in.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's you're just spinning your wheels.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, part of the reason why we quit doing shows is because taking the snakes out, and if I lose all of that inventory, I have no money. So,
Right.
or God forbid, something happened to my facilities, or have some virus come in and wipe everything out. What am I going to do then?
Right.
Um, that's my mentality is can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Well, now that you mentioned the virus thing, are you one of those guys where you test for nido
Yeah,
or other regular diseases? Okay.
yeah.
And
So most stuff that I get in, I test, but I don't know how much fucking accuracy it is. I mean,
yeah.
you hear a million different things, so you don't really know.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, not only that, it's like they say you could have a snake that's not showing any symptoms at all. It tests negative for nido. You
Yeah,
ship it,
yeah,
and it stresses the snake out, and it triggers nido. And
yeah,
now it's kind of like every snake could potentially have nido.
right. And
I
I,
mean,
and I
if that's the reasoning behind it, right? You could say, "Oh, my snake didn't test,"
right,
and then you ship it out, and then fucking you're like, "Oh, all right, it does have nido. It didn't have nido last week, but
right.
it has nido, now." So
I don't know.
I don't think it's the boogeyman that everybody is making it out to be.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, you've been in this long enough. You know, like some things just happen to your animals
Yeah,
um, that you can't explain.
yeah,
There's no explanation for it. So you mean to tell me that everything that happens like that's based off of nido?
right.
There's no way. There's no way. I mean,
How many times have you done? I mean, you've been doing this forever too. So, how many times have you just opened the bin and the snake's dead?
yeah. I wouldn't say
It
it's
just
a
happened.
regular thing, but it
Right,
happens.
right.
Um,
But I'm saying it does happen over the years.
Especially on the breeders. I've heard this story many times, especially with males. Um, you're breeding a male and you put him back in his tub and you feed him, and then you go in a day or two later and he's rolled. Like he just ate. Like he was breeding, then he ate, and then he's dead.
Right.
Like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that from people, and I've experienced it once or twice myself. So it's like, that makes sense. Like, why would a snake that's sick, just have ate a meal? That doesn't make sense. Like you can't explain things. So,
Right. Well, I think it's all you're working with fucking animals, man. The animal can't be like, hey, listen, I got a little bit of a cough. Could you hook me up with some amoxicillin or
yeah, don't work that way.
something like that? So, it's just you got to expect that if you're going to be doing this on any kind of large scale, even on a small scale. I mean, shit just happens sometimes.
Yep, I agree.
Um,
Females die after they lay eggs.
right.
It just
Yep.
happens. I've lost. I usually lose one or two every year, and I've lost two already this year. That after they lay eggs, a couple of days, they're dead.
Yep.
So
Yeah, well, we had a clown die with eggs in it,
yep, I've had
and
that happen too.
yeah, we tried to cut her open and
Same
save
thing.
the eggs.
Didn't work.
Did not work. Yeah, exactly. It did not work. It was gross and fucking. We just made a mess, right?
Yep.
So
Same thing. I done the same thing, not knowing. I mean, I didn't back then. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't know anything.
right,
I said, well, I'll give it a chance for the eggs. I mean, there's nothing I can do for her.
right.
So, but the eggs, yeah, no good.
Yeah, it didn't. Well, that's the thing. Like back then, it was so. Hey, I'm guarding this information. I'm not putting it out there.
Right.
Right. Like it was hard to get advice or good advice
Yeah.
from even some of the top people that were doing it at the time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like everything's on YouTube, right?
Yeah. You
Like
buy
so.
everything online.
I mean, so when we were coming up, it was definitely a harder time, to get answers to questions, to get people's advice on things, because a lot of people would say they're giving you advice, but telling you ways that'll fuck yourself, to go fuck yourself at the same time. So, the competition back then, especially at shows 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking, I will stab your mother in the back just to make $2 extra,
Yep.
So, and it's really not like that anymore, but I kind of miss it because now when you go to the shows, it's really just like a big party, right? But
Yeah.
like most of the big shows are just, vendors are showing up drunk at 10:30 in the morning and I kind of, and they're like, hey, we just love hanging out. Like no, man. Like the point that
Not
you're
me.
here is to make money.
I'm going to make money. I'll tell everybody that.
Yeah. So you don't really seem like the party guy. Like I got a feeling at Daytona you weren't hanging out on the boardwalk until 3 a.m.
No, I was. I did. We went off without a kid, so I mean, me and my wife got a little crazy, but I was still in bed probably by 12. So
right. Yeah, no, I get it. Pimp out some of your projects that you got going on this year that you're most excited about.
So obviously I like Blackhead. I've been a big promoter and big I don't know what the word is, but I like Blackhead. I like the project. I try to do everything with it. I just pulled a clutch of eggs this morning from Blackhead Chocolate Desert Ghost to a pastel pied. Anything involves Blackhead, I'm all about. Like I want it in everything.
Right.
And kind of the same thing with Desert Ghost. I've definitely done a lot of Desert Ghost stuff. I do have a bunch of visuals and stuff this year, but I'm all for making like hits. Like I like to make different hits that you don't see. I'm not trying to ride the curtail on what everybody else does on recessive projects. I get excited about, like that clutch I just told you, making some double hits with Blackhead. Like that's a huge clutch for me this year. Like I'm super excited about that. I've got, I just made some Blackhead OD yellow belly hip pods. That stuff's really dope. I got some vanilla orange dream yellow belly double het hypopod stuff. That stuff right there is what gets me going. Like, I mean, it's cool to do a 10 gene clown het lavender, but everybody else has got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I like the different stuff. I have some Blackhead Hidden Gene Woma stuff posted right now on Morph Market that's het lavender. Dude, that's I love that project. Like I think that's a great project to get into. And that's kind of what I do. Just try to do something outside the box.
Right. Yeah. Hidden Gene Woma, fucking, that's, I haven't really heard anybody working with that in probably 3 or 4 years.
I think Hidden Gene Woma and lavender will be great. But we'll see. Time will tell. I tried to do Hidden Gene Woma Confusion stuff this year, but she didn't go. I think Hidden Gene Woma Confusion would have been nice.
Right. Well, I was just going to ask you that. Do you have the newer kind of hip genes as far as the codoms go? Like confusion, like red stripe, stuff like that.
I think probably the newest big gene that we've made a bunch of this year is going to be redhead. Red, I don't really understand the market on the redhead because I think it should be big. Like obviously the redhead does crazy stuff. It's been made in the clown form, and then somebody recently hit the redhead Batman. It's been all over Facebook and Instagram.
Right, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I don't understand why people aren't investing into the gene. I think it's a great gene to have and work with. But we're hardly selling any. I mean, we have sold some males. Nobody's really buying the females, but we have sold a couple males here and there. But I think that's a great project. It's kind of new. I have a gene that I'm working on called Neon. We imported it from Europe a couple of years ago. I've already got the head DG versions. Unfortunately, I lost 10 clutches at the beginning of this year due to a heating issue, and all the neons that I had cooking didn't make it. So kind of stubbed my toe on that project for this year at least. I do have one more chance. She's about to ovulate for some neon Desert Ghost stuff. I had to kind of look around and see. Who? Yeah, I mean that's probably really the Mandarin stuff. Now, if you want to get into a big debate, we can talk about Mandarin. So.
Yeah. Well, I know Brittany Gobble is doing some Mandarin stuff.
Yeah,
and I know very few other people that are doing it. So you have that in your collection too?
Yeah. So Chris keeps most of that down in Florida, and we've done a couple of things with that, and let's just say our results are very similar to what majority of the people that we've seen making mandarins and super mandarins have been producing, except for like TJ has been making super mandarins that look completely different than ours. So there's still a lot of debating on that Mandarin stuff. So,
well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work that has to get into it just because, I mean, you can't just go out and be like, hey, this is what this does.
right.
You got to work, 8, 10, 12 years on shit sometimes.
Yep.
To get the intended result,
right.
as far as things go. And I think a lot of the kids coming into the business don't have that kind of patience.
No.
I think kids don't, like anybody under 25, they have no idea how long 2 years is, because
Correct.
I see them buying these babies, and they're like, can't wait to breed this, orange dream vanilla puzzle. And I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't even gonna be in this business in 2 years. Like calm it down. Like you sort of know, because I've been around a long time too. So you sort of know the people that are gonna push forward, and then the people where you're like, I don't know if I would have put that much money into
right.
into this thing. You're gonna be onto something else in the next year.
Yeah. I mean, I've got projects I've been working on for 6, 7, 8 years, and I still haven't hit what I needed.
Right, exactly. So,
do you give up on it, or do you just keep trying? I mean, and most people would have already given up by now.
That's the thing. Most people don't have the patience or the time, but that's what it takes. And I think that as you get older, you realize that, because there were things that I gave up on, like in my 20s, where I was like, oh, that would have been pretty cool to have now and see what happened. So, but
I think we all do that though.
Yeah,
we all let stuff go that we're like, damn, I should have kept that.
Yep. You just throw it on the shelf of regrets that you have fucking just piling up in your head,
That's
like fucking, yeah. All right, Tony. Well, how could people get in touch with you, man?
So we have a website, www.hardwiredexotics.com. Pretty simple. And then, of course, Morph Market. Obviously, the freaking Instagram, Facebook, now TikTok. So, I mean, if you type in my freaking name, Hardwired Exotics, you're going to come up with something. YouTube. I mean, however the today's society communicates, I think we have.
Well, I'm gonna immediately after this is over go to your TikTok because I want to see if there's any fucking gay Tony Thomas videos.
It's there. It's there. My wife forces me to do it. She was trying to get. So here's a true story. So right before this, she's like, "We need to do this TikTok because somebody asked what they were trying to build an enclosure for their ball python, and they wanted to know my opinion on what's the best way to build an enclosure." So she asked me what to say. I said, "Just tell them to buy plastic bins."
Right.
And well, they responded with another question, and there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not laughing at them, but I'm laughing at her. Not their question, because at least they were asking a decent question. So then they asked, what kind of substrate, what size bin, that type of things. And they probably genuinely need to know these information. So, but true story, Cassie's like, you need to explain that on a TikTok, what people need to buy and what kind of, we sell the chipper coconut, and promote your chipper coconut and tell them to buy this substrate, for their snakes and all this. And I'm like, I'm fixing to go on with Chris. I'm not dealing with no fucking TikTok right now. So, I mean, she forces me to do these things. And I know I probably need to, but God, I hate doing them. Like,
you should have had her filming you being on this show that I'm filming. No.
For TikTok, yeah. I can't believe she hadn't walked out here. So
it wouldn't have been, it would have been very meta. I don't even know if you know what that word means, but fucking... No. It's stupid. The word that young people use that's just ridiculous.
What is it? Say it again.
Meta.
Meta?
Yeah.
Like the meta verse?
No, it means like you know how Kevin Smith had a heart attack? Or you're not gonna know. No, it's basically like ironic shit that you're doing it ironically on purpose.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah. So it would be like, I can't. You know what? I can't explain it. Yeah, it's.
I'll Google it.
But I know what it is when I see it. It's kind of like porno, right? Like I can't define it, but I definitely know what it is.
You know what it is.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, fucking check out Tony Thomas on fucking Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Are you on that Vero, that new Vero thing?
I hadn't heard of that one.
No, but look him up on there. He's probably there. Cassie's knocking it out of the park with social, so he's probably on there. Buy a fucking snake from Tony. Buy a fucking knife. We didn't even really talk about the knives from Tony. Fucking, I have one of his knives. It's fucking awesome. It's been a year since I've had it. I could still murder a motherfucker with it right now. It's still that sharp. Okay, so. This guy just does everything. So go fucking check out Hardwired Exotics. Do you have a different name for the knife making company?
Yeah, it's Tony Thomas Customs.
Tony Thomas. Do you have a website for that too?
Yep, TonyThomasCustoms.com.
Look at you fucking just pulling it all off. Like the mountain man is just pulling it all off.
Thank you, Cassie.
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it, man.
Yep, for sure.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yeah, man. See y'all.
Here at Snakes and a Fat Man, we're huge supporters of diversity. We're proving that point here by having our first ever boa breeder as a sponsor on the show. Boa Affliction has been around since 2010, and when they saw the VPI T-positive gene, they immediately shifted their focus and decided to make not just visually stunning albino boas, but they quickly realized that the T-positive snows and sunglows really stood apart from the T-negative albinos that were available at the time. This original VPI gene has maintained its place in the market for the last 10 years and shows no sign of slowing down. Here's the thing. When you invest into your 401k, a 401k for all you ball python people is a fund that you invest in for your retirement. But when you invest in a 401k, you just don't invest in Walmart. You invest in Amazon, Verizon, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. That's all we're trying to say here. 100% of your collection doesn't have to be ball pythons. Throw a few boas in there and be part of a different type of cool crowd. And when you do that, invest with Kenny over at Boa Affliction. Great, no bullshit guy with an awesome website. And how in the fuck am I gonna say no to a guy who uses this chick in his promo picture? Can't do it. Can't do it. I tried everything. Go check out Kenny today at boaffliction.com. Sticking with my supporting of diversity, I actually hired a millennial to handle all my social media, but I had to fire him because he didn't show up for work. So I'm just going to leave this picture up here for a little while longer. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. Go check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/snakesandthefatman, where if you join, you will get exclusive content. Please, again, patreon.com/snakesandthefatman. Be like all these fucking cool people right here who absolutely rock my world. And they basically pay so that I could do this dumb made-up job that I've decided that I'd like for myself. We're still crushing it, having fun with the open Zoom call for reptile keepers. What's going to happen, actually, is all my Sundays are booked now because we're going to have the open Zoom call for reptile keepers. Then we're going to have Fatman Live. Then we're going to have the open Zoom call for reptile keepers again. Then Fatman Live, and so on and so forth. And we're still going to be releasing this show on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So, guys, really, I mean, I'm really looking forward to expanding this way of getting more content to you guys. And I really can't wait for the Fatman Live. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be something a little different. I didn't want to do the same thing as every other fucking live does and just interview some fucking snake or reptile guy. Like the thing is that there's enough of that, right? I mean, you want to fucking, you want to do shit like that, fucking, there's 10 other channels that you could check out. You want to fucking laugh and find out personal shit and fucking just, kind of get on down and start your week with a fucking smile, you head on over to Fatman Live or the open Zoom call or this show, Snakes and the Fatman. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you probably in a couple of days. Quick thing. I'm doing the Nobody's Safe sessions with MJ this Thursday night. So that's actually happening, I think it's on the 1st. So it'll be the day this releases. I'm doing MJ's thing. So listen, I suck at the right way to promote, but fucking either way, me and MJ have a fucking ton of fun when we do these things. So check us out there on the Trap Talk with MJ channel. Check out Fatman Live, Sunday, September 4th. That's going to be our fucking first episode. And then we're going to have a pretty cool episode for your trip to Arlington. Speaking of, I'm going to be there. Guys, I mean, if you can't find me this month, you just ain't looking, all right? Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you next time. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and the Fatman. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to SeaSerpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks and tell Chris Nettles that the Fatman sent you.